So I got into umpiring because I've got a pretty big passion for the game, and I did a bit of travelling and finished playing football when I was about 21 years old. I wanted to get back into the swing of things, but life sort of takes over a bit. And I saw umpiring as a good way to keep fitness up, a good way to earn a little bit of extra cash on the side, and it also kept me in the game. Last year was my first year of umpiring men's footy, and thrown into the deep end a little bit with it. I didn't know what to expect. It was challenging. There was lots of things that were different to playing footy, like things like running in positions. I found myself getting caught under the ball at a time and moving into packs. So it was quite a challenging experience, and took at least 15 of the 18 games or whatever it was to get into it and really find my feet a bit. I think people have sometimes a view of umpires just being a bunch of old guys running around, but we do put in a lot of effort. There's a lot of young kids here that put in the hard yards throughout for a good 3 months before this season actually starts. So we put in as much as a local footy team would to ensure that we're prepared to get into the season. So it's lots of cardio based work and lots of running. As you expect, we do about 10, 11, 12 Ks a game. So you really need to keep that fitness up. So the whole pre-season spent running in about 35-degree heat during summer. I'm a man of habits, so my routine seems to stick every Saturday. It's a wake up in the morning, a walk down to the markets to get the fruit and veg, a couple of coffees, breakfast, which is always 3 scrambled eggs on toast. I tend to try and not eat about 2.5 hours before a game. It's just something that I've been into. So it's a banana smoothie before the game and a couple of bananas during the game, and that's it. I try to get at least 5 bananas in during the day if you're on game day. I find that it's a lot about teamwork. So at quarter time we get in there and we talk about how we're doing as a team. So things that we can work on together, how to assist each other better, and little decisions. Sometimes you think about that holding the ball that may not have been there, the high tackle that you missed. So you just get some support from your fellow umpires to see what they think about the situation. I think you really need to have Teflon skin. So being on there, you are in control of the game, but you want to ensure that you're not seen that much. And what I mean is, if you're making those decisions that seem to make it like you're having a bit of me time, then the crowd notices. So the crowd and the abuse that you get from over the fence is probably the hardest thing about umpiring. But once again, if you can just sort of block that out and just concentrate on the football, that makes it all much easier. Different people deal with it in different ways. I tend to have a bit of a laugh at myself, so I see the funny side in some of the decisions if I do make a stuff up, which we all do. But also, I think you just need to have that positive sort of mentality, and you need to have a bit of resilience as well. It's very much, you need to be able to bounce back. I think it's a really good group, like a really good group of people to be around. Everybody's got the same goal and same drive and same ambition, so they get around each other. It's really supportive. You make a bunch of good mates, so the actual sort of cohort of the umpiring is a really positive experience. It's made it worthwhile. I got to do a grand final in my first year, so I found it pretty incredible that I managed to make my way to do about 6 Div 1 games in my first season, and then did a Div 2 Reserves grand final, which was a massive highlight, being able to run around on VFL grounds during a final series, especially with Novel of a Bulldogs supporter, so being able to run around on that deck was really, really enjoyable. I'm going through the VFL just with a sort of a pathway program at the moment, and just doing a bit of training with them weekly, which is a big step up and something that I never thought would happen. I didn't have that goal set out initially when I began umpiring, but it's an opportunity that's popped up at the moment, so something that you can't really refuse. It's really rewarding. It's difficult. It's another big step up from local league football, and so I just have to take the challenge, I guess, and try to combat that and tackle it head on. I really want to ensure that I umpire a lot of Div 1 footy. So last year I only umpired a handful of Division 1 games, so I want to be in there consistently. And there's little bits and things that you need to work on. So especially for me, it's ensuring that I'm running in the right spots, because once again, getting trapped under the football, which is typical of new umpires and people that have played football for a while. It's a spectacle of a game. It's really enjoyable to watch. So I'm a footy nut. So I'll watch almost every game on telly each week. I watch VFL games, go to local games when I can. So I enjoy watching it, and I've noticed that since umpiring, you're taking in a whole new perspective on the game as well. So I don't just sit there and watch players anymore. I'm watching umpires, I'm watching field positions, I'm watching free kicks and death. So it's really opened up my perspective on watching football. I speak highly about umpiring. I'd encourage anyone to do it. Anybody who's a footy nut as well, it's a really good way to get involved in the game, and it's a really good way to get involved in the game without the bruises on a Sunday morning.